Let's get into our big topic of the day. Are we buying into some full season projections? I love this idea that you had. So we're going to run through a bunch of guys who are putting up some gaudy stats a third of the way through the season. And what does it ultimately look like? You got Gunnar Henderson on a 56 home run, 122 RBI pace. Is Gunnar going to clear 50 this year? That's a big number to clear, but he's hitting home runs, especially opposite field home runs, seemingly every other day here.
That's a key thing. When you throw that in there and that ability to go the opposite way in Camden Yards, where that fence is way back there. That's insane to be able to do something like that. That he's a special player for sure. 50 home run season just seems like an impossibility. I don't want to say he's too young to be able to do something like that because it wasn't that long ago that he was drafted, right? And this is only his second full season in the majors. So what's going to happen in the dog days of summer and that humidity in Baltimore and playing those AL East teams? But he's protected by a lineup that's really solid. And I think the 125 plus RBI thing is very doable considering with the lineup that's around him, right? Whether it's guys at the bottom of the order, if he's leading off or if he's hitting third, the guy's hitting 1 and 2. Look, he's protected. He's got guys in front of him. He's got those opportunities. The RBI thing, I would feel more comfortable with, but young players in today's game are a little bit more special than they've ever been in the past. They've also been a little bit more younger. And I just don't know if the reins are on young players like they once were a decade or so ago, a generation or two ago. So you know what? Anything is really possible. And I've been more of the Bobby Witt Jr. camp than Gunnar Henderson. I think it's time for me to change my cap and say, yes, Gunnar Henderson is going to hit 50 home runs this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's a big number to hit, but damn it, if this guy's not, talented enough to do it. And he's on a pace right now. I think in that long discussion we're gonna have, season long and maybe years long between Gunner and Witt, if he hits 50, that to me would put him at the forefront of being the best shortstop in baseball potentially. I will say Corey Seager, who had that title after last year winning the World Series and doing everything he did, he is back. He struggled a little bit to start the year, had an injury, I think an offseason surgery. What's new with that on Corey Seager? He had like 8 home runs in 8 days or 8 games or whatever. So he's starting to turn it on. A couple of the guys, as far as the 50 home run mark, 2 more that are at 18, which is what Gunnar Henderson's at for the MLB league. You have Aaron Judge and Kyle Tucker. Judge, I think, shooing for 50, the way he's swinging it. Can we just say Aaron Judge will hit 50 this year? If he's
Uh,
healthy, I guess.
yeah, the health is obviously a key part. Yeah, I would feel more comfortable with him than anyone else since he's done it twice now. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's a stud. That's a lock.
And then our boy Kyle Tucker. What do you think about Kyle Tucker getting to 50?
Ooh, I should feel more comfortable with Kyle Tucker than Gunner. And
Bro,
I
I
think
don't. To be honest with you, I don't.
yeah,
I feel better about Gunner doing, which is crazy because, did Tucker miss out on 30-30 with like a steal or a home run? I'm not sure which, but I think of Kyle Tucker as 30 home run power. Now he's got 18, and we're a month and a half away from the All Star break, so he's definitely changing that. I think 40 for sure. I feel like he's going to slow down his home run pace, but again, if you're at 18 right now, he certainly has a shot at it.
it would be wild for a guy who's never hit more than 30 home runs because he's been on 30 on the nose almost every single year. 31 or more homers and then goes out and hits 50. That's incredibly wild. And it's wild to even think that a shortstop could hit 50 home runs because the only player to ever do it is Alex Rodriguez. And I think maybe only one of those seasons was as a shortstop. It might have been only been when he was a third baseman, come to think of it. So, the true record maybe is Ernie Banks with 47. So Gunnar Henderson is a special talent. Aaron Judge, yeah, you have to put him at number one to hit 50 homers. With Kyle Tucker, the thing I'll never forget was going into last season, there was a head-to-head odds, I believe, on Bet MGM of who will hit more home runs, Kyle Tucker or Shohei Ohtani. So they were putting some serious respect on Kyle Tucker. So props to them for doing that. Yeah, I would have to go Judge, Gunnar Henderson, and Kyle Tucker. And you know what? I hope I'm right on, and all three of those guys end up getting it done because that's good for baseball.
It is. It is. You mentioned A-Rod, and I wanted to fact check you on it to see. He did have 250 home run seasons as a shortstop because it was his days in Texas. Man, his Texas stats are fun to watch. 52 home runs in 2001, 135 RBIs, 57 home runs in 2002, 142 RBIs. And then he had a 47 home run season after that, his 3 years in Texas. Man, you look at A-Rod, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens. There's some baseball reference pages that just don't even look real, and all three of those guys might not ever see Cooperstown because of the steroids, but they were special talents. I mean, it's crazy stuff. Crazy.
I was gonna say, yeah, Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Roger Clemens. The only thing they really have in common that I can think of is just really good baseball reference pages, right?
Well, the steroids, but also it's like the early numbers in their career where you don't think they were juicing. You're just like, man, why did you juice, man? You were clear. I mean, they might not have hit quite the milestones they did, but I mean, Roger Clemens was a stud in his 40s, granted steroids, but it's still crazy to look at those guys' stats and think that they're not going to be enshrined based on the fact that they have arguably like top 5, top 10 careers at their respective positions. So